Hi, and welcome to Down by the River. I'm your host, Debbie Goodman.
And with me is the Executive Director of the San Joaquin River Parkway and Conservation Trust, Dave Kaler. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks, Debbie.
So, how are things going out here at the River Parkway?
Well, things are going good. Starting a new year.
Well, thank God we finally got some rain after 54 days straight of no rain.
Yeah, the drought is really stressing the river and all the demands on the river as well. One of the questions that we get most frequently is, well, how does the drought affect the restoration of the San Joaquin River? And something that I think is really good for everyone to know is that when the restoration effort began, the documents, it's a big set of legal documents, as you might imagine, that the government has approved, but it identifies six different water years, and so when we're in a drought water year like this, it essentially cuts off the restoration flows to the San Joaquin River, which I think it's important for Valley people to know that means that this effort isn't competing with the other efforts for drinking water and the farming water and so forth that we have.
Okay, that's good to know. So what do we have in the works for this year? I know that we have some special events coming up. We have the kickoff party, parties for the Parkway, but we've got a couple of nature hikes.
Yeah, well actually we, throughout the year, there's a number of really fun things, and in fact, just this last weekend we opened up Sycamore Island again for fishing, so that's a 300 plus acre property on the Madera side of the river, just downstream of Highway 41, that people can come out now on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the way through October now, and enjoy fishing. There's a lot of people that come to Sycamore Island as well just for bird watching or nature hikes and that, and we do lead nature hikes from time to time at Sycamore Island. But yeah, as you mentioned, we have other nature hikes going on. We have a bald eagle walk up by Friant, a lot of sort of kicking off our events area. You mentioned parties for the Parkway. Just in the coming week here, for a month, the party art will be displayed down at City Hall, and then there's a big kickoff that is nearly 60 parties throughout the year.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I in the past have volunteered to work some of the parties, and I always go back to my favorite, which was the horseback riding trip from Woodward Park down to the river and back.
Gosh, that would be fun.
Yes, we need to do that one again. It was great. If I recall, it happened, I think, around July, and they had a luncheon for us, and then they would take about 10 or 12 people at a time on horseback ride down to the river and back. So,
we have a number of people that will bring their horses out here to the River Center and then ride over to Woodward Park and back. It's always fun to see that kind of activity. So right here on our own Los Eaton Trail, we have horseback riders and, of course, bicyclists and all kinds of runners and pedestrians. It's fun to see.
well, one of the things we're going to have to do is go canoeing.
Yeah, well, and that gets underway coming up later this spring as well. Probably in the late April to May timeframe, we'll be starting that up again. And folks can just come to our website, riverparkway.org, and sign up for actually all the different things we've talked about so far. But as well as when the canoe season starts back up, you can just book yourself on a trip online and enjoy.
Now, don't they have some things around April, like a big cleanup day?
We do have, yes, in that time frame. It's kind of funny. We participate in coastal cleanup, and how that all got started was the Coastal Conservancy of California started a big cleanup effort, and then they brought in all the rivers that make it to the sea. So the San Joaquin, you know, is connected to the ocean, and that's how our biggest, we do a number of cleanup activities throughout the year, but the largest, most organized and collaborative effort here is that coastal cleanup day.
It seems like somewhere around Earth Day,
Yeah.
you do something either up at Millerton or Lost Lake.
For Earth Day, you mean?
Well, it's usually around the same time. It's usually like late April.
Yeah, well, that is, like you said, that is about when coastal cleanup happens. And also, we do participate in Earth Day here, and usually that's us. There's a number of nonprofits that put together an Earth Day event, and I know you'll be talking with Sarah Parks, our program director, on another program, and you can ask her about that because she's totally plugged into that. But she coordinates that for us, and so again, we collaborate with other nonprofits on Earth Day.
Okay, so here in front of me, we have the strategic plan for 2014 through 2016. Can you tell me just a little bit about this?
Well, sure. You know, one of our largest efforts in terms of providing more public accessibility to the river is the trail extension going west of Highway 41. There's a large area there. There's a block of 1,200 acres of public land that was acquired around 2005 or so. It was 3 different land acquisitions, but it put together a 1,200 acre block of land. And there are plans to expand the USS Eaton Trail on both sides of the river in Fresno and Madera. That's a major effort of ours that will be ongoing. I just learned from the Conservancy that the public meetings on that are going to happen this spring, so in the March timeframe. People might look for that and participate and come out. We really need to let our local officials know that these trails and open space are important to us. And so when that effort is happening, I hope the community gets engaged in that.
Now, will the meetings be held here?
No, they'll be held at other locations throughout Fresno. We're hoping that some of them are, if not the majority of them, are held more in central Fresno because of the users. This parkway is for everyone, and we want people living throughout the community to be able to get engaged in them. There might be a public meeting out here at the River Center, but I think they'll be more oriented toward being where the population of the town center is.
I remember years ago going to a meeting down at City Hall, and we filled the chamber where the city council.
And that's an important thing to do, that outreach and getting the public engaged in that. This project is kind of like that, because as you might imagine, well, at least the economy is starting to improve now, but still the city is stressed for where it places its dollars. So if the citizenry lets city know that, hey, this is important for us, we'll get it sooner.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And then another thing is that's important to us is there are some areas for example, the River Center here, the possibility of expanding the properties around here. We're always looking at opportunities to do that. We strongly support the restoration of the San Joaquin River, and that has a lot of efforts ongoing. It's another one of these facts that isn't all that well known is that the restoration program will generate 11,000 jobs in the valley. Most of those jobs will come from the actual project work. There's some water management projects and restoration projects, like construction type projects, to either improve facilities or put habitat back in the river and so forth. And that's where most of the job generation comes from, are those jobs. But it's another reason to keep the restoration program on track. But right now, we're kind of consulting, helping the city of Mendota and Firebaugh with looking at, as the river improves there, they'll have more opportunity to public access to the river there and recreation and fishing opportunities.
Now, how would someone find out about these jobs? Would some of these jobs be through the state, the county, the city?
Yeah, most of them are, most of the, well, let me back up. So we do have some right here at the River Center that come open from time to time. One of the,
look at those.
well, one of the projects is our, we have a large invasive plant species removal project. So we do have a few on staff now that are working on that. But most of the jobs will come in the 2-3 year down the road when the projects come more online. Right now, the agencies are planning for example, the largest project of the restoration program is reconfiguring of the Mendota Pool down in Mendota.
Well, I plan to quit teaching after about another year and a half, 2 years, so I'm come out looking for a job.
Well, and teaching in conjunction with that, we're working with West Hills Community College too,
Great.
to involve those students in there. And we have a ton of opportunity right here in the communities of Fresno and Madera for students to get involved. So if ever there's a class project that people would like to do to get their students out helping with habitat restoration, we're who to call.
Well, that's great. Well, let's go outside and look around there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So Dave, how long have you been here with the Parkway? How long have you been employed with the Parkway?
Well, I started in 1990, in June of 1990. So it's been a few years, and it's really been great. You know, the community here is fabulous to work with on the San Joaquin River. Have a great board of directors and volunteers and donors, and it's just really, you know, great to work with so many people.
Are you originally from Fresno?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Fresno High and Fresno State grad. Yeah.
Did you study science, or what was your major?
You know, it's my major was in environmental biology, and so that, of course, fits here.
Right.
But my path maybe was a little bit different than that, and then I worked for Guarantee Savings for about 10 years before coming to the trust. I was part of the banking operation, but then also later had moved into the data processing center and managed some things there, and that's where I was before I came to working on the river. And my path for interest coming to work on the river actually was because of my interest in environmental biology in college. Prior to that, I was little, I just lived to fish.
Oh,
and
great.
So, you know, I just kind of brought that passion and then the experience that that Guarantee and the banking industry gave me. So I really merged business and environment together for the skills here, which have served me well.
Well, how did you find out about the job in the first place?
Actually, I had been involved with the trust from the beginning, and then when their first executive director went to law school, Don Furman, and that position opened up, I knew about it, and a couple people encouraged me to apply, so I tossed my hat in the ring, and I was glad they picked it.
Well, that's great, yeah, because ever since I've been a part of this, I've known you, so yeah.
Well, it's been great to work with conservation-minded landowners. You know, over the years we've completed 18 land purchases with conservation-minded landowners.
Wow.
We've protected more than 2,400 acres. Our organization has. The Parkway as a whole now is about 4,000 acres in size. And so we partner a lot with agencies. The San Joaquin River Conservancies are one of our, well, is the most major partner we have out here on the Parkway. They're a state agency. We're a nonprofit land trust. And there are about 1,700 land trusts across the United States doing things like we do, but we're crafted here to work on the San Joaquin.
That's fantastic. What do we have here in the background?
Yeah, well, on the background, in the background here, we have restored habitat from the sand and gravel pond. Vulcan Materials Company owns this property, and we've been working with Vulcan over the years because as they leave, we hope to be able to purchase this property and have it become part of the parkway. This pond here is incredible habitat for migratory birds, and also is really rich in different fish that are in that pond as well.
I was going to say, can we go fishing down there? Or?
Well, you can't right now, but hopefully one day, and, you know, I hope in 5 years from now.
That'd be great. I hope so too.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to some other spots around the land.
Okay.
In the background, we can see some kayaks and some canoes. Now, I don't know about a kayak trip, but I'd be willing to go on a canoe ride.
Now you do really well on the kayaks. Those are the kayaks we use are sit-on-top kayaks.
Okay.
And they're really friendly and fun.
Great.
So we were fortunate to get a grant from REI, and we were able to purchase the kayaks last year. We've received other grants from others to purchase the canoes in previous years and so forth. So we're really fortunate to have this equipment and take people out on the trips.
And the canoe season starts?
Typically starts in May and
Okay.
goes through October. It just kind of depends. Usually we have some high water this spring, so
We're praying for
unfortunately, I
rain.
mean, I hope things turn around, but we may be on the water a little earlier than that, just because the flows will be down.
I see. Well, I really like the old green.
Yeah.
Those just to me look like summer camp 1960 something.
Well, my wife and I bought a canoe last year. That's sort of my method of transportation of choice on the river. I like the canoeing, but I have to say the kayaks are a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to have to try one someday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's walk around the property a little more.
Okay.
Now we're down by the pond, and I saw something interesting over there. It looks like a turtle.
Yeah, we have actually quite a number of turtles in the pond, and right now there's a lot of waterfowl out there. There's some cinnamon teal and some ruddy ducks. There's it's a fun place to come. So you know, we have a lot of bird watchers that come out and will walk around the Hidden Homes pond here. We have ospreys that will frequent here on a regular basis. There's actually bass in this pond.
Oh.
So it's a great wildlife pond, and of course it's the trail around here it's called our Hidden Homes Pond, and the reason for that is along the nature trail around the pond there's about a dozen or so little habitat homes that are made for kids to play with. So we have like an owl house and a mouse house and other things for kids to explore. So we often see during the week a lot of mostly young moms, some young dads as well too, out here with their kids, little toddlers, taking them around. It's a great thing.
Now, there's nothing out here like poison ivy, or is there? Is there anything we have to look out for?
We do not have, well, definitely when you get into the foothills, you need to be on the lookout for poison oak. We don't have poison ivy around here, and we don't have poison oak in the parkway section of the river. But when you get up into the foothill areas, for example, and I would really recommend this hike, the San Joaquin River Gorge, up above Millerton, there's some great hikes to do in the winter up there. But that's when you need to start. You're safe right now.
Okay, once when I was very young, we went somewhere up in the hills, and I got it, and I will never forget it.
Yeah, and when my kids were little, I used to put them on my shoulders, you know, for a walk, and if they'd been out in poison oak, I'd get it on my back.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Well, next I want to go over to the building that was dedicated to you.
Uh-oh. That's our headquarters.
Okay. We're standing outside of the David M. Kaler Building, headquarters, San Joaquin River Parkway and Conservation Trust, dedicated in 2008. What do you think about this, Dave?
Well, this was something my board of directors did, and they didn't ask my opinion I've told them I think they missed an important fundraising naming opportunity by doing this. It of course is a great honor, and for a number of years we sort of moved from donated space to then we got a little bit larger, and we had leased space on Shaw and so forth. And so then when we were able to put the River Center here, James and Coke Hallowell made a really nice donation to the trust that enabled us to build most of this building, and then we did fundraising and so forth. So it's really great to have our staff all together. For a time we were kind of split in different spots, but of course when you're able to collaborate, and you can imagine the kind of passion that we have on staff here and so forth. So if you can get everybody's minds working together, we have great space here, and so we love the headquarters on it.
Well, I'm going to make you a promise right now. I buy California lottery tickets, so if I ever win big,
all right,
I'm going to make a big donation to
That's
the Parkway,
fabulous.
because this place is near and dear to my heart. So, well thanks for having us today, David.
Debbie,
it's really
thank you.
Been a pleasure talking to
Thanks
you.
very much.
We learned a lot.
Well, great.
So,
Come out
thanks.
again.
All right, thank you. And you folks at home, come out and see the River Ranch House. We're out on Old Friant Road. What is the address?
11605 Old Friant Road. And you can't miss it.